Welcome to Digital Marketing Playbook for Small Businesses. My name is Rachel Majors, and I work for the Arkansas Small Business and Technology Development Center, or ASBTDC. And just what we'll be going over today is kind of addressing that we are aware that there's a lot of noise out there on all kinds of marketing that you should be doing as a business owner. But it's easy to lose a lot of money or feel distracted in your marketing efforts, I think, with everything that feels like a priority. Um, so we don't want to lose out on customers, but we want to ensure that we are creating a strategy and a great playbook for ourselves that's relative to our business and our target audience. So the goal of this training is to help you, one, maximize the most effective free digital marketing tools, two, prioritize your time and efforts on strategies that are best for your small business, and three, feel more confident in making decisions about spending money on digital marketing. Before we begin, I will share a little bit about ASBTDC, as well as just a little housekeeping. We are recording this webinar, and you will receive the recording and the slide deck as if, in addition to a few materials that I'll share throughout. So if you're not, take notes if you'd like, but just know that you will get the resources and recording after we're done. So a little bit about ASBTDC. ASBTDC is a joint partnership of the Small Business Administration, University of Arkansas at Little Rock College of Business, Health and Human Services, and other public colleges and universities. We have offices around the state, as you can see in this map. You can see our different locations. I am based at the University of Arkansas Fayetteville location. The ASBTDC is an accredited member of America's SBDC, the National Network of Small Business Development Centers. There are nearly 1,000 local centers available to provide no-cost business consulting and low-cost training to new and existing businesses. So no matter where you are in the state of Arkansas, we have a center there to help and support you. So a little bit about our services. Whether you're a first-time entrepreneur or a long-time business owner looking for a competitive edge, we want to help your business grow and succeed. So we're able to offer one-on-one consulting at no cost, as well as in-person and online training. All of our consulting is 100% confidential, in addition to free as well. So our clients include people who are starting new businesses from scratch, buying established businesses, looking to expand their existing businesses, or commercializing their research or new technology. So wherever you are in your entrepreneurial journey, or you know someone who is starting the journey, ASBTDC wants to go along with you. The goal of our program is to help Arkansans start and grow businesses that in turn strengthen and sustain the economy and communities of our state. So if you're not a current client, we can share some resources towards the end where you can get signed up and start coming through for help wherever you're located. Okay, so our agenda today, this training will cover 6 areas of digital marketing that are accessible to most small business owners. Most are free and most can be done by yourself or an employee. So by digital marketing, we mean any kind of marketing that people will encounter through the internet, basically, from your website and social media to podcasts and streaming ads. And the overall goal of your marketing is to attract target customers and increase your sales. So 90% of today's session is about what you can do for free. The last section will kind of go over some options on how to evaluate if paid advertising is a good outlet for you and how to get started for your business. So before we begin, we're going to talk about digital marketing strategy and a bit on SEO or search engine optimization, and then we'll get into each of the tools or approaches that you see here. So our digital marketing strategy. The foundation of digital marketing is kind of this funnel, and that will map out our customer journey. So the funnel is a visual representation of the stages people go through in building a relationship with your business. It's a funnel because the number of people who move from one stage to the next is always getting smaller as people start to make decisions. Thinking about your potential customer base this way helps you identify what each potential customer might need or see or hear, and can help you identify obstacles or pain points that are blocking people from moving forward into the next stage. So this funnel is beautiful, but the customer journey is never this clean or linear. So sometimes people will walk into your store or call you and for their first interaction and they are ready to purchase or sign up for your service. But generally, the funnel allows us to look um, at each piece of our strategy and understand the different ways and areas that our target audience or potential customers can interact with our business. So, kind of the main question we're addressing today is how is your digital marketing helping people move from awareness to consideration to conversion to loyalty? So let's start talking through each phase of the funnel. The very, very top is the awareness. So people know your business exists. They may have knowledge of your brand, product, services, know your name, have seen your store, etc. This is going to be most of your interactions in real life and in the digital space. This is what networking and free marketing is all about. So making sure that as many people as possible know about your business. Um, we need to be sure it's clear that they understand how they can buy from you, um, that they know you're out there, and where to find you when they're ready to purchase or make a decision. So, the reality is that most of our potential customers won't be in the market for our products or services at the exact moment that they find out about you. So, you want to focus on making a great first impression. I think, too, a big part of the awareness part of the funnel is thinking about your competitors and understanding what you're up against in the market, because if we're aware of what our competitors are doing and what they look like in this awareness stage for customers that we might be sharing or competing for, we can really inform that strategy and make sure that we have some strong points as our customers and target audience starts to do their own research as well. So, in digital marketing, the first impression or awareness building will most often happen through a Google search or social media. And once they find you there, they'll go directly to your website for an introduction. So, um, the first impression, too, like people can still be in this awareness phase even if they've been referred through word of mouth. So, I think sometimes, our awareness phase in digital marketing may be the first tracking point that we have of a potential audience, but a lot of the times, too, that awareness phase can almost be a verification phase, or they're still in that information gathering from another source like word of mouth or referral from friend or family. So, in our consideration stage, this is people who are in the market for what you sell. They're ready to spend money and they want to know if they should spend it with you. So, this is where information is key. It's not about convincing someone to spend, but it's about helping them match their problem with your solution. So, making sure they see the value of your product and that they have the access to important and correct information and support from your business. So, in digital marketing, depending on where you feature products, consideration could happen on social media or by email. Most often, it happens on product pricing and store pages on your website. That's why we want our website to be rich with information that potential customers will want to access, along with um, easy ways to send a message, make a call, or find your store location. So, in our conversion stage, this is our group who have made the decision to purchase or are considering purchase. While this is an exciting part of the funnel, it's also a really easy place to lose people, especially in the digital space. So, we want to ensure that we're making our conversion point for our customers really easy and seamless. Whether that's a phone call, you have a direct way to buy through a button, whether you're asking them to exchange their email for a piece of information, whatever conversion looks like for your business, depending on your model and how you're trying to acquire customers. We just need it to be easy. If people are going to have to jump through a bunch of hoops, they will likely abandon and maybe go to a competitor that has an easier conversion point. So, um, kind of basic rule when someone decides they want to buy a product or service, they have an expectation to be able to book or purchase quickly and easily. In the digital space, this is usually happening on your website, so having that streamlined checkout or booking experience is extremely important. For some businesses, conversion happens when they'll leave the digital space and walk into your brick and mortar with the intent to purchase. So, in all cases, it's all about convenience. Customers will have a plan or an idea of how they want to interact, and our job is to make it as easy as possible. Okay, next and final part of our funnel is loyalty. So this is our repeat customers and your promoters, people who come back over and over, people who tell their network about their positive experience with your business. So our loyalty customers kind of can start looping back to that top of funnel and help continue to feed that funnel as well if we encourage and kind of invest in our promoters and our loyal customers. So it's important to remember that repeat customers are the most important customers for our small businesses. And in your digital marketing, you can facilitate customer loyalty most easily through social media, email marketing, places where and channels where it's easy to get your existing customers to promote you, or to remind customers of sales, seasonal changes, etc. Kind of driving that re-engagement, reminding them, getting in front of them. So today, everything we'll talk about will help you streamline your funnel to increase the number of people making it to each stage. First, we're going to talk about SEO or search engine optimization. This is something you will hear a lot about. People are always telling you to focus on SEO, but oftentimes it's not clear how to actually do that well. So it's a deep topic. It can be complicated and time consuming. It can feel really overwhelming, and we'll share a few tips today on ways to approach it with a few free and basic tools as well. We do have a separate course on SEO that we dig into a bit more if that's something you're interested in. So SEO is the strategy behind making your digital content, mostly your website, social profiles, stand out among the millions plus, who knows how many web pages there are now, but basically you start to tell Google what is important about your business so Google can understand when to serve your business to relevant target audience members who are searching for something related to your product or service. So um, there's a lot that goes into SEO. I think the main thing that we need to understand about it is that we need to be creating content for our target audience, our users. We need to be really clear in who that target audience is so that we're creating relevant content for them while also considering the search engines and algorithms and everything that the actual back end of systems needs to understand as well. So SEO has always been important. It is growing in importance with the increase of AI as well. So a lot of search engines are moving towards AI features. You know, people have the option now to even completely change their search results and experience to be all AI focused. So SEO as a foundation helps your customer, the search engines, and now is informing AI platforms like ChatGPT, for example. Um, so one of the most important things to remember is that Google wants to make sure that your business is real and that you are providing relevant and accurate content across your website, social media profiles, your blogs, if that makes sense for your target audience and your business. And that when people land on those channels, they are spending time looking at them, and that you're, providing content that is relevant to them. So just an example, if we can kind of set our minds um, to imagine this. So if we imagine the internet like a giant shopping mall, when people are doing a Google search or online search, we're using Google as it's the biggest search engine. But we can imagine that's like walking up to an information kiosk at the mall. The person operating the kiosk wants to help you find the stores you're most interested in. If they give you directions to a store, but you keep coming back to the kiosk to ask for more help finding the right store, then the person at the kiosk knows that you didn't match up with the first place they sent you. If that happens a lot with the store, they end up sending people there less often. It's not personal. They just want to help people get to where they want to go. Implementing the proper SEO practices is like providing good information to that kiosk worker so that they know which people to send to you, and providing them that if they send the right people, those people will be happy that they did and find what they need. So just a small warning I would say about SEO is I find a lot of times that small business owners can really be a target of some poor business practices by SEO agencies that reach out a lot. So I would just say there are plenty of ways to do SEO and implement it yourself. With some, DIY strategies, informing your team, becoming educated about what matters. I think even if you decide to employ an agency or work with a third party, being aware of those basic principles is very important so that you know kind of how to gauge the relationship and understand if they are a partner that you really want to work with. So, um, we never want to engage with a company that their strategy includes like creating kind of their own web page, or they're suggesting that you need to use a new domain that they create or a new platform that they're working on versus your native and owned website, or if anyone's strategy is keyword stuffing. Keyword stuffing is basically putting a bunch of keywords and content in the back end um, that are relevant to your business, but it starts to create a really inorganic way for customers and the search engines to interact. So, search engines are actually trained to read and engage content in websites and social media like humans. They're trained to know that we need bulleted information and very clear, concise language, and that our brains need heading format and all of this information. So if it doesn't read well to a person, the search engine will pick that up and kind of grant it as um, incorrect formatting and content strategy. So next is one of my favorite profiles for small business owners. I have a course separate on this as well if you want to dive in a different way, but Google Business is one of the most valuable profiles for and platforms for small business owners to have. And it is free, so we love that. A Google Business profile allows you to basically have your own little piece of Google in a search. It's very important for that our hyper local search, those capturing those near me searches, which are really important for small businesses. You do not have to have a physical location to have a Google Business profile, which is great. You will have to, upon setup, put in an address just so they can verify it. They need to verify that they're sending verification to a human, and then you can hide that address. So, as an example, this Google search is searching for small business help near me. These are the results. So, at the top of the page, depending on what you're searching for, you may see sponsored content first through Google Ads. That could be anywhere 2 to 4 results for any search. So these are paid search ads through Google Ads. And there can be a strategy with Google Ads to help with some of your SEO. Google Business also has an advertising outlet as well, and those ads will look a bit different than this. So you will see now most search results will have an AI component. So I think just always good to see as things evolve. But now it's kind of our sponsored ads, AI results, and then our organic listings, and then our Google business listings to the right if you're on desktop. So the right-hand column is our Google business profile, and then that can be edited by the business owner outside of reviews. So there's certain information that we can control and edit and to inform. We cannot change or take down any customer reviews. As we dig in a bit closer, you'll see kind of the different areas of a Google business profile. And there are a few great areas for optimization. So It is worth the effort to customize these. These not only inform the search engines, but also informs the customers. So areas like our most important areas are going to be our categories, our service areas, our contact info, keeping correct hours, and then making sure our website is listed. You can also list your social media profiles. If you, depending on what category you choose, you will have different features unlocked. So you might want to submit your menu, you might want to tie some of your products to it. Photos are an important part, so if there's any features of your business that are important to customer decision making, maybe you're a restaurant and you have a really beautiful patio that has the best sunset view in town. Let's put a photo of that up so people can kind of understand the vibe and how they might plan their next visit to your location. Another area that is increasing in the Google business profile for relevancy for both the search engines and our customers is events. You'll see that it's through posts, and you can choose if it's an event, an update. But that's really great because say you're having a special event or you're doing something specific for Thanksgiving maybe or the upcoming holiday season, you can set that, and if people maybe make a search or things to do in my area this weekend, Google Business can serve up those event posts, which is, I like seeing it takes a lot of the guesswork out of planning. So Google search or in Google Maps are, as we know, where people go to find what they want. I am a hyper user of Google Maps. Maybe it's because I love Google Business, but I've lived in Fayetteville over about 15 years now, and I still will go to Google Maps or search just to remind myself of things and options in the area. That's where if I'm doing research, I will go find someone's phone number through their website. It's just very easy, and all of your information is in one place, which provides a really nice experience to the user. Um, so just a few statistics here. As we can see, about almost 60% of shoppers say they use Google to research a purchase they plan to make, and 76% of people who search for something on a smartphone visit that related business within a day. 28% of those searches result in a purchase. So keeping that information accurate is really important. In my Google Business course, we talk a lot about you can make changes to the profile very quickly. So say that your Google Business profile should be that source of truth. Um, if you have to close for a snow day or your kid is sick and you need to close the shop 2 hours early to go pick them up, you can change and make special hours or temporary hours, and that really can mitigate some customer frustration. If they think you're open, your Google Business says you're open, and then they show up and they're not, that can create a really frustrating customer experience, and a lot of times that's where some of our negative reviews can come from. So just keeping that information, kind of adding that in your checklist of when things change, Google Business is a great profile to go update. Um, those near me searches are your golden ticket to new customers finding your business. So on the left is a list from think with Google of the most common near me searches during the weekend. So a lot of these common searches are generic in hotels, car wash, breakfast, flower shops, delivery. People are making these generic searches every day when they're looking for something. If they're looking for something that you offer, making sure your Google Business profile matches up and is up to date is going to put you in the running to show up in that search. So again, value of Google Business is that hyperlocal search and a lot of verification. You don't have to do this right now, as you'll get this deck in the link in a bit, but it's very easy to create your profile. If a profile, or maybe you've acquired or recently purchased a business and the previous owner maybe hasn't passed this down, there is a way to go claim a business profile. It's a bit of a process that they'll walk you through to make sure and verify that you're the owner, but it's very easy. They will verify your business through, most of it is video now. It used to be postcards. I still get mixed from my clients on how they're getting verified, but it is a very easy process. if you have to claim your process or claim your profile, this is kind of what you're looking at. So they'll walk you through everything, and it's more just to make sure that random people also can't claim your business. So there's a process for a reason. Um, and if you ever have any trouble, Google has support, and we've had pretty good luck with clients working through this process. So areas to update as we continue. It's good maybe to set yourself a quarterly reminder to check this profile. Has anything changed that we need to update the search engines and customers for? And any upcoming changes. You can set like holiday hours coming up. That's really top of mind for me right now. So setting those early. What is Thanksgiving week going to look like? That week of Christmas, holiday, New Year's, you can set those as special hours, and maybe you're extending hours for holiday shopping, opening or closing, early or later. So be clear in that, and that just really helps everyone have a great experience. So um, your basic categories, updating your address, hours, phone number, website, category. You can have your main category and then subcategories in addition to services. Your description is really important for our SEO as well as the customer. So you'll start, like if I search for bakery, Fayetteville, Arkansas, and I go look at the Google business listings, you'll start to see bolded text of kind of what the search engine has pulled that is related to my search. And that's a good way I like to tell clients to go look and kind of see what it's pulling from profiles that can inform us on how we update our Google business description. And how much we have optimized for the search engines right now. Any attributes about your business? If you have a tricky parking situation at your business, that can be a big anxiety driver and feels like a big risk for customers. If they don't know how to park, many people won't go interact with the business, which is really unfortunate. I've really been encouraging clients to update their parking information in Google Business. There's a little section for it. You could even put a little parking map in your photos, things like that. That allows someone to download information about interacting with your business in one place can be really valuable. And then high quality photos in our logo. We want to show people what our business looks like, what they can expect when they show up, any decision making type things. So I'm a big patio person. I will look through Google profiles to see what the outside looks like. Can I bring my dog? Is it shaded? Things like that. So outside of that, reviews are a big driver and resource on Google Business. While we can, request and encourage our customers to leave reviews, we cannot tell them what to say, and we cannot, delete reviews. So there is a process where you can try to ask Google to take down a review depending on, if someone left a review that has never interacted with your business, or it's really, really bad or hurtful, or if you're experiencing slander, you can report them and try to work with Google for that. It's not always successful. So a great way is to really have an engagement strategy with reviews and reply to every review, whether positive or negative. It really shows your customer service level. And even if you get a 1 star amongst 55 stars, if that 1 star is bringing down your rating a bit, customers will go through those reviews, and they can see for themselves that you've answered. They can understand the context more than just a bad review with no reply. Um, Outside of that, your Google business profile can also be attached to and inform Bing Places and Apple Business. So most of those are a quick connection and rely on Google Business anyways, but just a few areas that are important. We do have an update checklist for Google Business that we'll attach, and yeah, if you really want to dig in, you can attend some of our other Google Business specific webinars. So next we're going to dive into social media. Social media is an area of digital marketing that is constantly changing. So I've been talking to my clients a lot about our like levels of owned channels. Social media is really one of those where you are working to what the algorithms are pushing down to you, which can feel really hard and frustrating as a small business owner. Um, the first thing I think to do to take pressure off yourself is to have a great content strategy, and you can have that strategy by knowing your target audience, knowing what's important to them, and kind of having those content pillars mapped out in a way that allows you to really have social media as a connection point to your current and potential customers. So, um, your social media presence and need for how much you put into this is probably going to depend on your type of business, who your customer is, and how they're interacting with your social channels. So, we don't need a huge social following to be successful. If you are a national, global brand, if you're trying to succeed on e-commerce, the more people that follow you, kind of the wider the net, and that will grow. And there are ways to do that well. Um, a high follower count can feel good, but it doesn't necessarily translate into sales or new customers all the time. So, I do kind of consult my clients against just doing giveaways or any campaigns just to get followers. Most of the time, um, that can kind of flood our count, and we're not actually building a channel of meaningful target audience members. So, approaching our social media strategy in stages is important. The first stage can be managing our first impressions and sharing information that's relevant to our target audience. So, focusing here in the foundational stage to make your core business functions clear and easy to navigate. If someone's finding you on social media, they should not have to wonder if you're still in business, and they should be able to learn about your product, services, and maybe see the character of your store and staff very quickly. For some businesses, that could be all that's worth doing on social media, staying up to date enough that you look open and that they can still engage with you. Um, kind of evaluating how much more to expand on it. We need to understand if we have capacity to sustain it. Social media can be a really big time and resource investment. Um, and we want to understand what is worth our time and how much time we have to put into it. And we might need to evaluate if we need to pay someone to do it for you. So I think that if you're finding that social media is taking up 60% of your day as a small business owner, that's really taking away all of the other areas. And we might need to hire some help or reevaluate our strategy. So kind of these first impressions we can have on social media are you know, impressions can go either way, a positive or negative. So a few positive impression points we can make are posting weekly. That makes us look regular, open. We have a presence. Photos of customer and staff, that is inviting and creates a connection, a personal connection. Information about our products, services, how it works, likes and comments on posts, so people want to see engagement, information about the why of the business, and kind of maybe some behind the scenes looks of staff, owners, or customer stories. People use things like that to validate that other people have had a positive experience, that people like working there. It's a good business to interact with. Um, a few things that can create a negative impression or no post for 3 months or more, that makes you look really dormant. Some people might wonder if something has gone wrong in the business, or are you still open? Can I rely on this product or service if they aren't keeping up with their online presence? If you're only using stock photos, people can, like, stock photos have a place, but people can also kind of tell the difference between that organic content and stock photos. So if we don't have any real pictures of customer, staff, or the business itself, people start to hesitate a bit or start to question if the business and the profile is real. If there are no post interactions, we want to have those post interactions to show and verify that our content is relevant and that other people find it important and worthy of engagement. Any low quality graphics or photos, people are very visual, and that's how we make a lot of decisions, whether we know it or not. So we want to create that beautiful, positive experience online. And posts that are really pushy or start to feel limited. So I do think there's a balance in creating some urgency in a way that feels aligned with your brand voice and goals, and isn't, putting too much pressure on the customer. Um, yeah, so I think that if, simple visibility and maintenance are your goals, this can kind of serve for you. If you do this, when people search for you on Google, they can find the information you've curated for them, know that it's accurate, up to date. Um, Social media is a really great platform for validation for referrals. Most people are going across your social channels, your website, probably interacting with your Google business before they ever make a decision or decide to come in. So it is important to kind of create that upfront impression. Um, the limitation at this stage is that you're not, leveraging the ability for new people to find you on social if you're not taking that investment and keeping it up to time or up to date. So we, you'll see that like for you page, the discovery part of social media does take a bit more interaction from the business and creating content and staying up to date. So, um, areas like short form video and interacting on other people's posts becomes important in that way if you're wanting to pop up in more of those discovery algorithms, getting in front of people versus people in your target audience always having to find you and seek you, can be really valuable if you have the time for it. So that can really help you expand brand recognition and helping people learn more about you, while it is a bit more of a time investment. So um, you know, many businesses do social media because they feel like they have to. If you're in a position where you're not going to invest a lot of time or money into social media and it's feeling like something you need to do, but something you might not enjoy, or see as a good revenue or customer stream, then maybe, you know, this slide can help you consider what your strategy looks like. So the platforms to use will really depend on your target audience, and that's really important work to understand um, who you're trying to reach in the first place, and then we can figure out where they are. So we don't want to just create a bunch of social media profiles that we aren't prepared to manage. Most small businesses will be best served by having some combination of Facebook, Instagram, and or LinkedIn. Normally 2 to 3 channels is very reasonable. Um, if you're just starting out, creating a Facebook and an Instagram is pretty standard for people. They know those are channels to interact with small businesses on. Um, as of March of 2024, 70% of Americans were on Facebook and 49 were on Instagram. So, using these meta products, you can manage from the business manager profile um, that Meta provides, and you can schedule posts through there, see some of your engagement analytics. It is nice that everything is in one place. So, you can start out by posting the same content on both Facebook and Instagram and then begin tailoring your post to each to better suit the platform. You might see that you need to do a few more reels on Instagram and maybe they're just not hitting as well. Facebook is nice because you can attach a direct link in a post, where Instagram you're relying more on maybe including a link in a story, or a link in bio. So there are benefits to both for customization, but I think as long as you're relevant and accurate, you can publish information across the two very easily. LinkedIn is beneficial for more B2B businesses, or if you're an individual at a company that might be seen as an influencer, you're responsible for sales or something, that LinkedIn can be a great connection point, and LinkedIn is showing up more in search as well. So um, it is a great platform if it makes sense for you, but just for most like brick and mortar stores, if you have a retail shop or a boutique or something, having your boutique as a company page might not be as relevant, but if you have connections on LinkedIn as a personal individual, you can make connections and kind of post about your business there and just keep people updated. And that can kind of be um, not a direct marketing source, but people still know what's going on with you, which is important. Um, so once you are kind of feeling comfortable with Facebook and Instagram, there are plenty of other platforms that you could always invest in and expand to. We'll just go over a few benefits to these. YouTube is a giant platform, and Google is prioritizing it more in search now as people start to seek out more video content. About 60% of Americans are using YouTube, so one reason we don't recommend it as your top 2 to 3 is just that it requires a lot of video content, which is time consuming and requires budget and equipment and all of that and a lot of planning. So if you're already doing it or have the budget to do it, then YouTube is a great platform. Um, a big part of YouTube is just that value add of like DIY and educational video content. So if you can somehow position yourself as a coach or an expert or someone that people want to seek information from and advice, those self-help or DIY videos can be great marketing on YouTube. Um, Pinterest is popular for design, DIY creators. If your small business offers those products or services related to those, like landscaping, interior design, graphic design, education, even fashion, if you're running e-commerce as well. So Pinterest can be a great place for that. Nextdoor is a great platform for more of that hyper-local visibility. So that's kind of creating that connection with the neighborhoods and the geographic areas. It's a great place for referrals and recommendations. So I recommend Nextdoor a lot for my clients who are in those home and personal service business. So lawn care, housekeeping, plumbers, electricians, people that you're always kind of asking family and friends for, you can have a free Nextdoor business account there where people can either tag you and recommend. It kind of is like a light Google business profile, some similar information that you could probably repurpose even. Um, and that just allows people to tag you and post and recommend you, as well as you can go interact on those posts as well, and they are pretty evergreen. TikTok and Snapchat are in that younger user base, probably 18, 24. They can just be a little more difficult for business and advertising, and um, you're playing a lot of algorithm games, especially on TikTok. So um, I think it can be tempting to get on platforms that seem really important and access to younger consumers, but your engagement and strategy and videos on there do need to be really thoughtful, and um, it might be something you need to consider investing in. Paying someone to do the TikTok algorithm is very constant. It takes a lot of content to really reach people, and you are constantly needing to pay attention to trends and stuff. So if it makes sense for your business or it feels really natural to you, that can be a great place as well. Um, so when you're starting out on Facebook and Instagram, you may need to post the same on each platform, but as you grow more confident and are able to differentiate, remember that Facebook can skew a little bit older in our demographics and Instagram can skew a little younger. So you might need to change your content and information based on that knowledge or who you even see following. You can get some demographic analytics from your profiles. So if your business needs to reach maybe a primarily male audience too, LinkedIn, YouTube, or X could be more helpful for you. So just understanding that demographic breakdown and taking that into your evaluation against your target audience can be important. Understanding what's on your profile is important as we think back to that first impression. So, um, make sure these items, your description, about, bio, email, phone, address, website, profile photo, which can be your logo is standard, cover photo, might give you a more a better option to put some faces or a graphic, something that feels like more of a connection point, an action button, and any relevant links. So you can treat your description or bio's marketing elevator pitch. And on Facebook, you have a little bit more room than Instagram to add a few more things. So think about that first impression, what we want people to see and know quickly from those descriptions. There are oftentimes easy ways to customize some quick action buttons. Again, what are they likely to use and what is important to them? So next, posting frequency. This will depend on platform. Um, and how much you are prioritizing your demographic, what engagement looks like. But again, if we go back to those SEO practices and people's perception of our business, we probably need to be posting at least once a week to keep your social media just looking alive. If you want to grow your social media marketing in the future, then we might start looking at that 2 to 3 posts a week, start mixing in some reels and video content. As always, quality is better than quantity, so we don't need to worry as much about the best time of day or when the algorithm is working if we can focus first on consistency and making our page look alive and relevant to our target audience. As far as what to post, it's going to depend on your brand. We want to be really clear in our brand voice and tone, what our audience is going to resonate with. So, is our business fun and energetic? Is it trustworthy and wise? Is it playful or is it very serious? What you should posts should be based on your brand and those principles that you've set for yourself. And we want to make sure we have structure, a rule that helps you plan out that post content. So we kind of advise our clients in the way of pillars and kind of planning from there, because we can identify that that is what our target audience will resonate with and work down from there. So just a few are listed here. You can pick a few of these or create your own that helps you stay mindful of how often you're talking about yourself, educating, or entertaining. So there are a few things these roles have in common. One, people follow you for your expertise, your leadership, and your perspective. So usually not your product. Even if they like the product, you have to have content that makes you worth following, which is usually based on educational, informational, or entertainment value that you bring. And we don't want to rely 100% on ourselves. Sharing and engaging with others takes less time and shows that you're not just about your own brand. If customers are tagging you in things and it's content that's relevant and appropriate to you, resharing that and just giving a little love back to our customers can be really valuable. We want to keep our sales pitch to a minimum, as customers will be less likely to unfollow. So you kind of heard that 80-20 rule of for your audience versus promotion. If people are always being sold to and that feels like the only thing that's happening, it just doesn't feel organic and we don't have that connection point, and a lot of people will abandon. We do need to do our sales posts most of the time. People need to be reminded that we do have a product or service to buy and interact with, or they won't know, but it does need to be that balance of, human interaction. Okay, so our website, we'll talk about paid social ads towards the end. Our website is one of our best free and owned channels. So creating content might come at cost, and we can put a lot of our content on our website for free to serve as a resource. So one, we want to think of our homepage as our store window. So make sure your homepage is designed to bring people in, either in your e-commerce to create the conversion there or bring them into the brick and mortar. So the first thing people see when they visit your website is your homepage. So we want to have a clear and simple statement of what we do and a call to action. This should be at the top of the page, and that's kind of our most concise elevator pitch. So call to action is going to be a button right beside your value proposition, and this button should help them go directly to purchase or book. The goal, again, is to make it very easy for anyone to interact who's ready to do business. If they're not, they can go around the website and learn a bit more, and you've still provided clear conversion points for them. After that top section, there's more room for creativity and to make your website design match your business more personally. The homepage should just be those feature sections that build credibility and authority, kind of that, you know, TLDR of like, what do I need to know on this homepage to then know if I want to go across the website and click into individual pages. Um, some great additions can be customer reviews, testimonials, positive press, a lot of that validation, verification that we seek as customers, um, and then showing some of our products, just kind of giving that front view of what our business is, allows people to make a decision quickly. Um, we also kind of want this transitional call to action. So this is an action someone can take on your website right away to stay connected without a purchase or commitment. So the goal here is to get a contact information from potential customers who might not be ready to purchase. So that can look like usually exchanging an email or phone number for a quote. Maybe you have a fun quiz, downloading a resource, following on social media, or signing up for a newsletter. We want to be thoughtful about this transitional call to action as many people are tired of being forced to share information. So, if we're going to make an exchange, we want to make sure whatever we use that information for is very valuable and always have a customer first approach there. These are a few homepage examples. I am realizing I'm running out of time, so I will just show you guys the experience here, but um, these provide good examples of kind of that top level information with a clear call to action at the top. So the top left, taking care of babies. We help babies and toddlers sleep better. Online classes to help with sleep from birth through age 4. That has great SEO value. And our call to action there is also find a class. So easy for the customer to read, understand the value add, also informing search engines, and very clear button on what we need to do. Um, Homeward Realty, so the best realtors in Conway and Central Arkansas. They have 2 call to actions: sell your home or buy a home. Makes sense for realtors, very straightforward and easy to interact with. Fidel Coffee and Company, um, the Fidel and Co. coffee experience. And you're getting that experience through the visual storyline of their product on the homepage. They have 2 call to actions as well, so shop coffee and merch or order online, keeping it very easy for whatever our use case is. The Museum of Discovery, experience interactive STEAM exhibits at the Museum of Discovery, Little Rock's leading science center. 1 call to action is journal mission, the second is events. So those are very clear and concise, can show what we're asking the customer to click on for that conversion standpoint. If you don't have a website, there are a few ways to start. I do like having a website versus just relying on a Facebook page or something because it is a pure own channel and you control the information that goes on it. So first is buying a domain. The cost of this can really range, but I encourage my customers to use an incognito window and go on namecheap.com. I prefer that over a GoDaddy. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just sometimes the pricing can be a little bit different, or you might have different options. So always good to shop around. With our domain, we do want it to be easy to remember and match our business as close as we can. So using a free domain or something that is very long can just make our business look cheap. They're hard to link, hard to recognize, hard to remember. So a few of the kind of DIY website options that are a little more budget friendly. If you're using a POS that might come with a website and it makes sense for you, for example, Square, if you have a restaurant and you're going to do online pickup, then you can connect your Square POS to a Square website, and it is free outside of, I would recommend buying a domain so it doesn't look like business at Square. It can kind of look like a crazy URL if you don't buy one, but again, affordable, and gives you that security certificate as well. That's a nice option for some businesses. The POS version of websites doesn't work for others, so it's really going to depend on what you sell and how customers are interacting. Google Sites can be free with your business account. That can be a good option if you just need a one-page informational site. I do find them a little difficult to really customize and add a lot of the SEO value that we've looked at today. If you're looking for like deep customization, you might want to look more at something like a Wix site or Squarespace that kind of has that builder template drag and drop, but are still affordable and still have some of those deeper customization areas. So depending on what purpose your website serves, you might need to invest with a marketing agency versus building from scratch. So it is important to evaluate your skills and your comfortability with these platforms. And if it starts not turning out how you want it to, or it's a big time commitment, it might be time to engage a third party or agency. Blogging we'll touch on pretty quickly. So blogging can be a good tool to boost SEO when done strategically. And blogs can boost your SEO by showing Google that your site is active, and they allow you to purposefully use more keywords that are getting high search traffic. So blog posts are normally pretty niche, where our website content is serving more information and showcasing our products and services. So blogs are more topic specific. Blogs boost your brand by showing potential customers that your business is willing to guide and educate people navigating your industry, not just sell them your product. Communicates to potential customers that you will have the answers to questions and you're willing to share them. Blogs can help people connect with your business from an emotional level by being a source of help. And these can help your SEO value and website authority a bit too. It adds content to your site, which informs the search engine. You do want to write topics that you are knowledgeable about and that you have expertise in your industry and that provide value to your customers. So blogging might not make sense for every business, and that's something that we'll want to evaluate. Email and text. Email marketing has been around for a long time, as we know, and text is becoming more common. Kind of that idea of content marketing is that everyone's going to interact with your marketing in a different way. So we need to be clear in where our target audience is and how we might need to adapt there. So it can take a while to get email and text marketing started because you need to collect that information. But once you get it, you normally have a nice list of customers who want to hear from you and are engaged. Email and text kind of fits into that marketing funnel we talked about by getting people in at that early upper part of the funnel and taking them through the funnel depending on the type of content and information that you share. So at the top of the funnel, email and text can develop your brand, position you as an expert or resource, and keep people engaged with you. Going down the funnel, you can use it for following up with online shoppers, for running sales and shopping events. Again, if what we've already talked about for social media, search, and website is feeling overwhelming, this might be an area that we pause on and, put it to the back burner while we have a little bit more time, or maybe your email marketing for a while just serves as a monthly newsletter to keep people up to date, but you're not, spending a ton of time or resources on email or text marketing. So getting started, it might look like one, like I just said, the monthly email, using a POS where you're already collecting customer data. So if you're using something like Square and people have already made purchases, you have that data and can enroll in something like Square Marketing and email or text from there. We do want to develop our plan, understand frequencies, understand what is valuable from a content perspective, and kind of commit to that so that anytime a customer sees a communication from us, they know it's going to be valuable and they want to open it versus feeling like, oh, I'm getting another email from this business. That will usually lead to unsubscribe rates. So it is a great way to repurpose blog content, social media, and create that reminder marketing. If some of your target audience maybe isn't on those channels that we're investing in outward. It is important to use email and text marketing software, as there are laws protecting consumers from spam and guaranteeing a right to unsubscribe. So it might feel more personal to text or email from your own account or phone, but that can be frustrating for customers, and it technically goes against privacy and communication laws. So um, again, using those platforms, like maybe you're in Square or Squarespace, they have marketing features, or you can create a free account on MailChimp or HubSpot. Some of these verified email and text providers that email inboxes know information is coming from. Um, Usually, the cost for many of these profiles can be free, and you might have to start paying once you get a large volume of emails or to send more regularly. It will depend on the platform that you're using. Um, if you're already doing email and text marketing and want to take the next step, there are a few things you can do. If you're just starting out, don't worry about this list yet. We can back up to the foundational items and build confidence here. So we want to segment our list. We want to be sure we're providing information to the right audiences. Um, be brief. Again, thinking of that mobile first experience, even short emails can look long on mobile. So that value add and making sure we're providing content that's relevant. Automation is really nice. Those kind of abandoned cart emails or, hey, we miss you, creating some rules through your system can be really nice. And then developing a drip campaign. So that's an automation that kind of guides through the buying process and creates some tracking to serve certain emails to where the customer is. Okay, getting into social ads. Um, they can be a really affordable and effective way of paid advertising for small business owners. There are kind of three that we can focus on um, today for investment. So, across Facebook, Instagram, and Google are usually the easier and more impactful platforms for small businesses. Um, they have a great reach and they're normally affordable. They can change based on who you're targeting, how many people are in those audiences, what keywords you're looking for. So, still evaluation to do there, but looking, an area to look into if you're looking to kind of expand outside of your own audiences and traffic right now. You can run effective ad campaigns on these platforms, like Facebook and Instagram, for about $50 to $100 a month. Um, you can base those on age, location, interest, and other factors. So you're only paying for people that you want to get in front of and that target audience. So you can boost posts that you already made that are being engaged with and are successful, or you can create new ads that are appearing in the feed and stories across both Instagram and Facebook. Um, Google Ads are going to get us at the top of those search results as we looked at earlier in the presentation. So that can just be a different strategy. Maybe while you're working on your SEO, or maybe you have a highly competitive industry and there are a lot of other businesses in your area and your service, and you want to get to the top for a bit. This is probably going to be more expensive than Facebook, and we might see at least $500 a month in investment. It is a platform that I would recommend working with a local expert or agency on, just because there are a lot of gears to turn and a lot of knowledge there for optimizing your spend and strategy. So, um, to get the highest ROI. So, while it can be one like a nice affordable platform, it's also a really easy way to waste money if we're not paying attention to it and investing in the strategy. So paying for social media ads, you can kind of evaluate this by what we're calling the three S's, so smart, sustainable, and special. Um, Many platforms will like give you a free credit, and we just want to be careful with some of those things if we don't have a plan. So how we can plan for this is through the first one, which is just smart. about the ad being connected to a bigger strategy. So don't just boost because Facebook told you to. Develop ads and choose to boost in connection to bigger marketing and sales goals in your business. Sustainable is just a reminder that social ads usually work better when they're scheduled for at least a week minimum. It will take things a bit to pick up. This allows them to be targeted to more users with a lower cost per person seeing them. Your most cost-effective social ads are going to last weeks and months, not just a few days. Special is about connecting your ad campaign to a specific moment in time. This could be a holiday sale, a special event, a product launch, or a major business change, for example. Generally speaking, advertising is going to be the most effective at motivating people to respond when there seems to be a deadline or a reason to act sooner rather than later. So SMART is one of the most important criteria for social ads. It stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Many of you have heard of SMART goals. You need these for your paid advertising as well for your spend. So let me see. If you're looking to test, about a $50 a month budget might be good as long as we're learning from them. And focus on one SMART goal that aligns with your bigger marketing strategy. So, are you focused on getting brand awareness and visibility? Maybe you need to just use social ads to build your social following to an appropriate target audience. Are you working to convert more social followers into customers? Maybe you need to use social ads to push people to your website or that transitional call to action on your website. Or maybe you just have a big sale or other event coming up and want to drive some of that quick turnout. So we can use social ads to get RSVPs or to ensure a certain number of people in your area know about the event, for example. Ideally, we want to keep it simple. As we're learning to use social ads, we want to limit maybe to one ad at a time and keep our budget low so we can learn from them and make any tweaks that we need to. There is a free meta training for Facebook and Instagram. So this QR code allows you to take lessons. This will you can we'll send out the URL, or you can search for Meta Blueprint Digital Marketing Associate certification. The courses are free, but the certification is received after paying for a test. So you only need the free education. You don't need to do the certification. So a little trick there. I'm going to start wrapping up and then I'll go into the Q&A and chat. Thank you guys for hanging on with me a little bit longer. So just a few key takeaways as we wrap. We need to start with a clear strategy. We want to determine what your marketing goals are first, then decide where and how to market online based on your goals and your target audience. That might look like creating a calendar to keep yourself on track with your goals and kind of creating some steps for ourselves that we can work through. At every step, don't rush it and get overwhelmed. Take on your digital marketing one piece at a time. The only reason you should ever launch multiple channels or strategies at once is if you're paying someone for expert help. On that note, the decision to do marketing on your own versus paying a marketer is based on your opportunity costs. It's going to depend on your comfort with marketing strategy, content creation, and learning these platforms. Sometimes it will feel manageable to research, learn, and do it yourself. And for others, it might be more effective to pay for your help and have someone focused on that so you can stay focused on your other core profit-making activities. So again, we do need to care about SEO, but we don't need to pay an SEO company most likely. That could depend on our industry. It is something to evaluate and understand. But we always want to go in that with caution and really interview any providers we're looking at with a strategy. So the most important thing when related to SEO is keeping our content updated and relevant to what people are searching for on the internet. And you will learn and evolve for SEO as you go. Here is some contact information if you need. Again, I'm Rachel Majors. I work in the Fayetteville office through the U of A Center. We'll send this out as well. And then if you are interested in following our channels or seeing any more of our trainings, this is our information. I'm going to stop the share and go look at the Q&A. But feel free to leave if you feel confident in the training, and I appreciate your time today. I think catching up on this is a few takeaways. I saw a comment about a course on Google Business. We do have that and recorded, and we do schedule that throughout the year. So be looking for our trainings and subscribe to our newsletters if you would like that monthly reminder. Um, I'm not sure that we have this exact course in Spanish yet, which is another question I see, but I can take that feedback back to our team to see if we could do that. I will put my contact information back up and oh, sorry. My share is acting crazy. I'll put it in the chat. How about that? Um, Another question, do we need to do blogs weekly or is monthly okay? That is really going to depend on your content strategy and your target audience. So you might not even need to do monthly. Like a benefit of blog post is that evergreen um, element to them. So say you have 5 really strong blog posts that have high keyword value, work for your audience and search engines, those can live for a very long time. As you start assigning that topic, or maybe you start to see a trend or something that other people are answering to, um, you could address those topics as you need to. I think monthly is reasonable. Um, I think weekly would feel like a lot of content unless you're really working through like a knowledge base or um, something like that. Sorry, I'm working on this contact information. Okay, that is in the chat and I'll try to share it again. My share was starting to get a little wonky there. Okay, there's that contact information again. Sorry about the lag there. Okay, we will get these materials out to you, and I appreciate you guys for being there and hanging with me a bit longer. So I hope you have a great weekend and can start setting